Alrighty guys, welcome to yet another episode of my Let's Play of the Crew Wild Run. And in this episode, we're doing another spec for the BMW M4. This is the Circuit Spec variant. Oh my god, look at that. Just look at it. But anyway, this thing looks absolutely incredible. Probably the best rendering of a DTM car ever. Well, Ford's none counts because they don't have the BMW M4 DTM. They have the M3 DTM, but they don't have the M4 DTM. And I say this thing looks even better than the M4, the M3 DTM. So yeah, you can't change the color. The only thing that changes is the brake calipers. The livery is permanent, unfortunately, but I think it looks really, really cool. It's kind of nice that you can change the brake calipers just to make yours a little bit more unique. Of course, it sounds weird. And that wing looks incredible. Just the whole livery is incredible on this thing. Also, I don't know if you notice, on the right side of the steering wheel, there's a little blue button that says DRS on it. And DRS is actually the aero, the rear wing aero system on this car. So on the real life one, the aero must actually function and go up and down, because if you look closely on the wing of this car, you will see that there's some kind of mechanism that possibly is designed to angle the wing certain degrees. It's pretty cool. And of course, I actually looked at the DTM Mercedes C-Class, and it doesn't have that feature. It's just a fixed wing on the C-Class, but on this it's adjustable via computer. But of course, it doesn't go up and down. I believe none of the Circuit Spec cars have that feature. But oh well, it's a tiny little detail. I think those headlights just look incredible. This model just looks incredible overall. The sound's a little weird, but I don't mind it. It sounds proper for the BMW M4, not for the DTM though. The DTM would sound like a V8 because, I don't know, I guess that's kind of to balance out the class in DTM. All the cars having V8s, the Audis, the Mercedes, and this thing. Now we basically have all the DTM cars right now. We have the C-Class, which is the newer one, the C63AMG DTM, which is the newer one. We have this, the M4 DTM, and now all we need is the the Audi. What was I going to say? BMW. The Audi A5 or S5 DTM. I can't quite remember the exact name. That thing's a bit ugly, the DTM Audi, but could have been worse, you know. This thing is probably the best looking DTM car out of all of them. The Mercedes, and I don't like it that much. This thing just looks even better, like I said. It just looks incredible. The curves, the lines, all the freaking canards and downforce kits on it just make it look incredible, and the livery as well. Also, this is the first car in the Crew that actually has a license plate on the front. It says M on the front, but on the real life one it would actually say something like, I don't know, some DTM type thing. The rear lights look pretty cool. Go on to the interior just to take a look at the interior, and of course everything glows, thankfully. And that wheel looks incredible, just that BMW wheel. And this thing just looks incredible. I'm quite pleased with this thing, and of course they have the actual rims off the DTM, which is nice. Now let's go into a race with this thing, or a faction mission. About to start it. Actually, no, we're not actually going to start. We're going to take a look at some other features as well on this thing real quick before we actually go into the race. Totally professional. No, narrating over my videos and not remembering what the video was about. But as you can see, you can actually put stickers onto this thing, but the stickers have no effect because the livery is permanent. Of course, you can change the interior, you can change the plates, you can change the rims to other ones. I don't know why you'd put any other rim on it, because those rims just look the best on it. I mean, yeah, it's kind of makes all the BMW M4s look the same otherwise, but oh well, I don't know. Is there a mesh that's actually on the front of it when you're out in free room? Because it doesn't look like there's a mesh on the front in the HQ. I'm gonna have to take a look at that later, and I'll put a little annotation or whatever on the screen saying if it does or does not. Probably doesn't though. Okay, so we'll be unnecessary. Wait, we actually take a look here. Couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. But yeah, this thing, like I said in the last episode, the Circuit Spec BMW M4 is not the best Circuit Spec car. Well, it's pretty darn good if you know how to drive it. And of course, it's up there with some of the other Circuit Spec cars, like the 458 Circuit Spec, the Ford GT Circuit Spec, the latter, the very, very overpowered cars, and the Skyline and so forth, which is not all-wheel drive, no matter what frickin' Black Panther says. Don't listen to him. He's a pleb and an idiot. Just because the front wheels spin a little tiny bit doesn't mean it's all-wheel drive. It's just a glitch. That's on some of the Circuit Spec cars. But anyway, this car is fast. It handles really good, but it's kind of floppy. It's, well, not floppy. At like 7th gear, as soon as you go into 7th gear, it becomes extremely floaty. It feels as if it has no downforce whatsoever. But it's pretty manageable. I thought that when you actually kind of lose control like you saw me doing there, I kind of had to do a very, very hard maneuver to prevent me from losing control. And this goes to show that the Circuit Spec DTM is actually pretty good at handling. Because any other Circuit Spec car, even if I let off, I would actually smack into that wall, into the guardrail, and lose help. But with this thing, all I had to do was let off a little bit, and then it turned in, which is fantastic. Same over there. And now in the 7th gear. This thing is just as fast as all the other Circuit Spec cars. Just to kind of balance it out with the other Circuit Spec cars. But overall, the M4 DTM is just a pretty darn good car. You just gotta kind of get used to it, to the fact that it's floaty up in the higher gears. You'll probably see later when I do a maneuver that kind of makes it go sliding out at high speeds. But for the most part, if you're gentle with the steering, you can actually take corners really, really well with it. And of course, I did 261 miles per hour on the NOS. This thing can probably go faster, but I'm not here to test that. And it's pretty darn good with dodging traffic as well. Has a tendency of scraping on things, but a lot of the other Circuit Spec cars do the same thing as well. This thing just doesn't more, but thankfully you don't lose any speed from it. Any speed from the scraping whatsoever. It's just a little annoying, I guess. And on the speedome, little legal speedome, it scrapes like crazy. You feel like, I don't know, you feel like you're a racer when you're driving around there. And I apologize for that little Steam message if there was one on the video, or maybe I was just hearing things on my computer. No, nobody messaged me. That was in the video. Yeah, this thing, like I said, it handles really good. From in 5th gear, basically from 1st to 5th gear, it handles perfectly. But as soon as you go into 7th gear, all the handling just goes out the window. It doesn't handle. Well, it does handle, but it just becomes super sensitive, and it shouldn't be that sensitive. But if you're an experienced driver with this thing, you can kick some ass in PvP with freaking new players in their 458s and stuff like that. That's what I like about this thing. It's not the most overpowered car, but if you know what you're doing, you can defeat people with this thing. And the Circuit Spec is actually up there with the OP cars, like I said. But with the steering, it's not that good. With the super sensitive steering, it's not that good. But if you can manage the super sensitive steering, then you can be a boss with this thing. And at least get into the top 3 with this thing. And there we go. Fully finished that up. This thing just looks incredible. And the side exhausts, I completely forgot about those. Those side exhausts look incredible. And there we go, double cash. Probably unintentional. And no background noise. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, give the video a like. And again, be sure try to get this car. It's actually pretty good, and I'm pretty sure they will patch out the handling issue sooner or later, sometime next week. Which I'm recording this video, narrating this video on the 9th of April. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.